When an organization or society faces a problem, the default human instinct is to build a new layer on top of it. We draft new compliance laws, deploy tracking software, and write dense employee handbooks, assuming that more structure equals better control. Eventually, the sheer volume of these overlapping rules creates enough friction to bring the system to a grinding halt. Consider a standard corporate tactic like an Employee of the Month program. While the intention is to boost morale, isolating one person for praise automatically defines everyone else as inadequate. This manufactures a bitter competition where there was once steady collaboration. Consumer markets follow a similar logic. By intentionally restricting the supply of a product to brand it as a luxury item, we manufacture artificial scarcity. That scarcity creates an intense desire for possession, which provides the primary incentive for theft. This diagram shows a node-based network representing the additive trap, using points and lines to show how entities interact. As we pile on new incentives, status markers, and security constraints, the network becomes top-heavy and collapses under its own weight. Over 2 millennia ago, the Chinese text The Governance of Non-Action offered an alternative approach. Instead of trying to manage chaos by adding rules, it proposed optimizing society through aggressive subtraction. Stability arises as a direct result of identifying and removing the underlying triggers of chaos. It is the absence of friction, rather than a feature built on top of a system. The text outlines 3 strict rules for dismantling chaos, attributed to the ancient philosopher Laozi. The first rule dictates that leaders stop exalting the worthy. By refusing to create hierarchies of status, the leader permanently dismantles the social engine of bitter competition. The second rule demands the neutralization of the artificial value assigned to rare goods. When a system stops signaling that objects are markers of status, the economic motive for greed and theft disappears. The third rule focuses on cognitive load. By physically removing or hiding desirable things from public view, the leader prevents the constant craving and mental overload that confuse the communal heart. By treating competition, scarcity, and envy as specific inputs that drive a system toward failure, we can isolate and delete them. This logic aligns with modern systems engineering, the practice of managing complex systems by optimizing their internal components. Severing these inputs is a process of risk variable isolation. Removing these variables achieves homeostasis, a state of steady internal conditions. With no triggers left, the grid smooths into a stable plane requiring zero active policing. Engineering an environment devoid of the triggers for misbehavior causes the expensive need for management and enforcement to vanish. You do not need guards when there's nothing to steal, and you don't need managers with no status to fight over. The text demands a psychological baseline of emptied minds and weakened ambitions. This requires stripping away the constant anxiety to achieve more or outpace others, leaving the populace free of toxic overreach. This mental reduction is paired with physical fortification. The leader ensures the people have full bellies and strong bones, prioritizing tangible health and security over abstract status. This transformation takes a precarious society, resembling an inverted pyramid, and morphs it into an immovable rectangular block. To protect this foundation, the text prevents knowing ones from acting. This creates an impenetrable perimeter that stops bad actors from reintroducing complexity to exploit the system. This minimalist architecture serves as a formula for achieving maintenance-free, permanent equilibrium. It uses reduced ambition to ensure that the communal structure remains grounded and indestructible. These subtractive rules lead to the core paradox of the text, Wu Wei, or the achievement of perfect governance through non-action. Wu Wei represents the state of active, effortless equilibrium experienced when operating within a perfectly designed system. As seen in this image of a figure balanced on a blade, non-action is the result of perfect alignment with one's environment. When the environment is designed so that the incentives for chaos are gone, the leader no longer needs to intervene. The system governs itself because the triggers for friction have been removed. This subtractive philosophy applies directly to modern stakes, from the management of a corporate team to the pursuit of individual mental clarity. If a team is overwhelmed, the solution is often the removal of conflicting metrics rather than the addition of new ones. True control comes from the discipline to design an environment where the triggers for friction simply do not exist. It is the mastery of what is left out. By mastering the discipline of subtraction and acting through non-action, the leader ensures that absolutely nothing is left ungoverned. The void left behind is the system's greatest strength.